Yeah. So your next question was, how did I notice the demand in the market, right?
Yes, sir. And how you decided that you are the right fit to solve that?
Okay. So the things is that I was noticing uh, in the books, in the entrepreneurs that I was following, right? Because I had an inherent interest in the business, right? I hope I'm audible.
Yes.
Now, the thing is that I noticed that they were solving some problem that they themselves were in. Okay, so I thought I started thinking about that what problem I have been in. Okay, the most was that VRC was unsolvable problem, right? An unsolvable problem. So that challenge was sorted by me to a somewhat degree. Okay, and I had noticed that several premium services were there. Okay, which could be made free, right? Now, for the first few years or the first few months, I would say, to correct myself, for the first few months you need to work for free. You should be willing to work for free, right? That would engage the people you are targeting, okay, in which you can hypothesize about uh, your vision, right, and your observation of the market gaps, right? Okay, and then check them. Now, when I checked it in the groups where the customer was available, right, or the aspirants were available, it went on point, right? And several other people were talking about the same thing. So the thing is collaborative efforts, right? How do you think, okay, you would be better than your competitor, right? It is about collaborative, right? How do you collaborate with other people so that you would get the best outcomes, right? Now, thinking about the pricing strategy, you should ask your customers, okay, the first free ones, because they would be giving you the genuine advice, right? How much you might have paid for the service in the market, right? Then only you would get the right pricing for this, right? Improve that by 25%, and there you would have your product ready, okay, be it any market. Done.
Yes.
Okay.
Sir, you said that you like to read some books regarding entrepreneur, and from there you get your idea. So, like, you want to recommend some books to the aspiring entrepreneurs, like
I
which they
read
should read.
I read a book by a psychologist, right? I do not remember the name, but it was Vanessa Van Higgins, right? She was the writer, so they can read about it, right? Other than that, I watch a lot of podcasts, right?
Mm.
Podcasts, not the general podcasts, okay? The podcasts which are hidden one, right? And I notice, okay, what idea they are talking about. So one thing they can do is click the link of the podcast and read the transcripts, okay, extract the transcripts. They can easily get it from any website. Now put that transcript in the chat gpt and get the overall points of that chat. Now it would save a lot of time, right? Would take generally 5 minutes, okay, then you can read it in 5 minutes. You would have done the whole work of 2 hours podcast in just 10 minutes, right? I do the same thing for the books also, right? If not possible to read the book, right, I just take the transcript lesson by lesson. I go lesson by lesson, okay, and then I skim all the relevant parts, right? Because I'm not interested in how they achieve the results, right? If I'm interested in how I achieve the results, I can backtrack, right? I can go to the part, watch the transcript, and then reach to that part and watch that part, right? So this is something that I have the efficiency that I have got to generate new ideas, to read ideas, right? That works in my favor, right?
Yes, sir. So, Karan, can you please tell like currently, are you focusing on expanding your business, or are you focusing on like having a small number of students but increasing your profit? So
The thing
like
is
which
that whenever you see a Red Sea market, right, which has a lot of competitors, and the demand of the labor is increasing with the less returns, right? The first focus should be to leave that market, right? So the thing is that an entrepreneur should be able to identify newer gaps in the market, right? So I am finding some new products, right? I have gone through some new gaps, okay? uh, some things that might add efficiency to the Indian market, right? So if you have done one uh, 0 to 1 journey, right, it won't be much difficult for you to find new products, right? Because then you know what customer looks for, right? You can
exactly.
make the hypothesis again, okay? You can test that, okay? And also, if you are an entrepreneur, you have to get a sales uh, skill, right? On the
Absolutely.
basis of that
Yeah.
sales skill, because an entrepreneur needs to do everything, right? He needs to write the advertisements for himself, right? He needs to do the content, he needs to be the salesman, he needs to be the finance guy, he needs to keep the accounts clear, right? So all the things need to be learned, right? YouTube is a best place to learn about that. But yeah, if you keep on learning with YouTube, you won't learn anything, right? Business is all about doing it. Okay, you read 100 books. If you do not have an experience with the people, right, what their aspirations might be, how they behave, what they want to buy, why they don't want to buy your product, is it bad, is it not needed, is it the wrong time, do you need to move to the to other products, to modify it, to rebrand it? Those questions have to be answered, right? And you would answer when your own skin is in the game, right? So that is how a business is conducted, and that is why I moved away from uh, doing MBA. Though I do not think that MBA is a wrong investment, right? But it might differ from a person to person.
Uh, so, like, as we all know that, for example, if someone is going for a coaching, particular coaching, then he expect that his teachers already is that exam.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, if you are giving GMAT, GRE, CAT
Yeah.
coaching, so did you show your past records? Like, for example, the IMS Scrabbler sir is showing that he's continuously scoring
Mm-hmm.
100% for last 8 to 10 years and attracting a lot of students. So, what are you doing on that regard for to
That
attract
regard,
customers and other things?
in that regard, see, that is a uh,
Because these
that is
are
expert.
some marketing tactics
It is
they are
called
using.
creating a brand value,
Yeah.
right? So what I am planning this year, which I didn't plan earlier, right, because I was busy in acing other exams, right? I have got a GMAT 705, right? That is around 98 percentile in GMAT, right? Okay. Other than that, I have IFT scorecard, right, which I have not repeated, right? Other than that, I have GRE scorecard, right? So I am moving towards the foreign exams rather than the Indian exams because of the returns, right? Okay. Uh, Other than that, I think one should not take the CAT exam because if I take the results, right, the CS scores gets affected because of that, right? And if the IMs create a certain value point, right? If the IMs create a certain value point, let us say 95% is the cutoff. Now, several of the students are coming below that, right?
Jason.
Okay, so even if 8 to 10 students are left behind because of me, why should that be? So the other thing that I might do to create a brand image is that give coaching, all India coaching exams, right?
Mhm.
That would create a certain, okay, you are coming in the dashboard, okay, then you might have a chance here, right? Then this person might give me the lessons that he uses to get on the dashboard, which is of his competitors,
So can you please clear what do you mean by All India exam?
I'm talking about IMS time and all, right?
Okay.
All India coachings which take All India exams, All India mocks,
Mhm.
right? So the All India ranking would be clear, right?
Okay. And so do you plan to exit your business eventually?
Yeah, eventually I plan to exit my business because every product has its life cycle, right? There would be new players who would be interested in coming into the same thing, right? But you should be looking for new opportunities which would take you towards a new journey, a much better one, a more efficient one, and having more returns than the current business is capable of.
So, sir, when will you decide like that enough is enough? Like there is a lot of losses happening or something.
Hmm.
Like when are you certain that you can say that now I am exiting from this
So,
industry, I am going towards some other product, I will work on myself or
so the thing is that there are 3 to 4 parameters from that, right? Okay, do you have the sufficient amount to start another business, right? Do you have the sufficient expertise to start another business? Do you have insights of the another business? And has another business started earning something at least, right? Do you have a viable product or service or not, right? So that viability would tell you, okay, whether you have attained, right? Whether you have attained something or not. Done. Okay, so it is all about the viability of the product or services, right? IMs are there because it is about the viability, right? Whether they are providing the students, those are there, right? With a viable choice or not. If that decreases, as I said in the coaching scenario, it is 10% success.
Ji
If
sir.
IMs deliver 10% of the success, nobody would be willing to take an admission there, right?
Yeah.
So 70 to 80% success rate is a good success rate, right? So it is a viable solution. So viability is the king of any business, right? When viability is sorted, when you get returns, that is the right time to leave a business and move on to the next one. If you are getting the greater returns, right? Return, but a greater return.
So, do you have, sir, any particular idea or something like, for example, like what if you want to start a new business tomorrow, let's say. So, do you have any idea particularly like maybe in this business, this particular industry, for example, fashion industry
Hmm.
or staying in the education industry or work in retail sector or like this?
The barrier. See, one of the things is that I would take care of is the barrier, right? The entry barrier should be high, right?
But
So
sir, if the entry
there are
barrier
multiple.
is
Hmm.
yes, sir. I want to say, like, if the entry barrier is very high, then how are you going to enter in that
So
industry?
we
Because
have
there will
to,
be already established players in the market.
yeah. So if entry barrier is high, right? If the entry barrier is high, let us say it is 20 lakhs, right? Then you would need to have 20 lakhs in your account first, right? For that you have to work, right? So that is a viable option. Now, what would you do in that period? You would keep on researching on your products. I have seen and listened to various cosmetic oriented business owners, okay, doing that. Now, if they have done that, that can be replicated. Now you have the research and you have the money. Now you need to act after that, right? The chances of you getting better with your products, okay, and being a hit would improve with your research and all, right? Okay, and in that period, you can do certain experimentation with your product, right? You can go to the market, you can reach out to the people, you can expect their certain outcomes, you can improve your sample space and all, right? Research methods can be improved in that period. But higher the barrier, the lesser chances of that business, the lesser are the chances of that business getting in to the Red Sea zone.
Yeah.
Right. So you would want your product to be viable for a certain amount of time so that you would not have to think again about a new product. Right. So that is a certain security that we do are looking for.
So, in your entrepreneurial journey, which are some of the key learnings that you find very important? And if you look back today, you want to, for example, if someone asks you any particular advice related to entrepreneurship or any key learning that he wanted to learn from your past mistakes and don't repeat the same ones, then what will you suggest him?
Okay, there would be certain lessons that I would suggest, right? Don't depend on anyone, right? Have your own brand value. The second thing is that always be, always keep yourself in the non-comfort zone. As soon as you get in the comfort zone, you won't be looking out for the new products, right? Or the challenges that you would have in the future. So to act before the challenges come, right? To be in that non-comfort zone is the most important thing. The other thing is that diversify, right? So diversification is the most important thing. So these three things I would say are important. Yeah. On the basics, these three things should be sorted. Other than that, you can always find the skills, acquire the money, acquire the people, right? And fourth one is that uh, be ethical so that the growth will be slow, but it would be a sustainable growth.
So how do you ensure to be like, because if the business grows, eventually there will be opportunities where you have the chance to exploit your customers and extract more returns, more profit for
See,
you.
exploitation.
So how do you like
Yeah.
have a line, like that I don't want to cross this line for even if it's increases my yearly profit or revenue?
See, there were opportunities for me when the colleges were offering me 50,000 per student, right? So I could have made some gullible students who actually went into those colleges, right? Get into those colleges and increase my revenue by 4 to 5 lakhs, right? That would have been a 60 to 70% increase or 100% increase in my revenue. But the thing is that where would the student go after that, right? Would it benefit him in the long term, right? Now we can talk about the price pointing where the price point is the negotiated value between the customer and the service provider or the product provider, right? I mean, in France, I can have a flower for 5,000 rupees, right? I can sell it for 5,000 rupees, but in India, I can sell it for 100 rupees, right? So that is a negotiation point. Now, several people think that negotiation point is an unethical. I mean, if you increase your negotiation point, right, it would be an unethical business practice. That is not an unethical business practice, right? Just to clear this, right? Because it is a
Yeah.
scenario in India where we believe that, right? It is always dependent on the service provider and the service getter to reach on a price point. First point. The second point was that, right, the ethical business, right? The ethical should be, the point should be whether your customer is benefited, okay, in overall terms, whether you have increased the quality of his life by 5%, 10%, 2%, or something, right? Until that quality is improving, you are doing a great work, right? If you have given a great negative sum to that person, then you should rethink your business. Either your business will not be going on forever, right? Or if you do that, you may have someone who might come after you in terms of government authorities, complaints, or cases. So all these things might be on the table. One should look at it. Okay. If not today, tomorrow, new laws might come and they might get you.
So, were you hesitant when you started your journey? And if in future, like you said, that you wanted to change your enter into new fields, so are you hesitant now also? Like, what will happen if I change this? Will I be successful or not? What will happen then?
Hesitation is always there, right? Whenever you would be in chaotic, not a chaotic, but a continually changing environment, hesitation will always be there, right? But as Warren Buffett said, that first test the things, right? Then move on to them. So that thing creates a certain opportunity, a certain viability to the business that may keep you in the in a situation of tranquility or in a peace of mind, right? So I hope I have answered that question. What was the question again?
Like, were you hesitant when you started
Yeah,
your journey?
hesitation is always there, right? It is all about controlling the hesitation that is known as entrepreneurship.
Oh, nice one. Uh, And so, of, one last question was like, what keeps you going, sir? Like when you face hardship or failure in your business, like don't you ever regret the choice of like going into an job segment?
I have been in the job segment, right? But the thing is that in the job segment in India, the nature in this field is quite exploitative, right? In many companies, but not all, right? To
But
get into all companies, I have to give up my practices, the independent practice I'm doing, right? So this thing has been paying me enough to sustain myself, right? Though with a low life, right? With a limited life, right? But if you have support from your family, right, support from the people who are around you, you can maintain a sustainable business for a long amount of time, right, for a long period of time. So that is the first thing that I look for. Other than that, I have been able to find people around me who have reached to a certain successful position in their life. So that is an option that I have created for myself, where I can reach up to CMOs, directors, and all, and ask them to refer me to their friends. So that is a viable option that I have created. If if the things do not work out in any scenario, but if you are in a in a entrepreneurial venture, right, the the charm of independence gets you.
so independence is more important for you.
For me, independence is more important. I want to do my work as I please, and I want to have something on plate for my customers right now. That is something I'm looking for. Not every business looks for that. My last venture, which had scaled to 22 to 25 lakhs, okay, I had to leave that because of this viewpoint, right?
And so, like, if you have some of your friends like who are earning more and are in corporate sector,
Hmm.
so do you sometimes find that you should also go there?
Uh, See, I I
Like,
went to
because they
people
are
from the
earning more
corporate.
than you,
Yeah, I went to
then
people from the corporate sector. They are earning more than me. But the thing is that when I went to them, they asked me two questions: whether you want to be in the corporate or whether you want to earn money. Okay, so both the things are not overlapping.
What were the two questions, sir?
They asked me two questions: whether you want to earn money or whether you want to be in corporate.
Okay.
Right. So they said that both the things are not overlapping.
Okay.
Right. Having money and being in corporate are two different things. Right. The other thing is that how much money is important. For example, those two peoples have been in corporate for 5 to 6 years, right? And all they have been able to afford in Mumbai has been a 2 BHK home, right? So according to the city, according to your environment, how much is called being in the right stage, right? For example, in my uh, life, I already have a home, right? So moving to another city and having a home there, okay, would not be something that I would look forward to. I would be
Ji.
looking forward to much more, right? So this is about the scenarios that you are building or the scenarios in which you are living. So you would look for different outcomes at different positions in your life.
So, are you planning to ever go for management studies, be it in India or abroad?
I was planning for going to abroad because of the quality of education being given there, right? Which is centered on the outcome rather than on just getting the machine running. So I was planning for that, not for 2 years. Okay, I would repeat the words of Trivago CEO, ex Trivago CEO, that he went for an MBA for 11 months. Uh, so 11 months to 1 year is a sweet period for MBA for me, if it gives you the outcomes and the learnings that you are looking for. So the thing is that I would go for the institutions that give me something in entrepreneurial venture, right? Like experimentation, how to experiment, some skills that are relevant today, right? They should not be outdated. If I can get some outcome out of that, some return on investment on them, right? For example, if I'm spending 20 lakhs, I should get in the next few 2 to 3 years 30 to 40 lakhs, right? Then only that, I mean, not collectively per year, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so 30 to 40 lakhs, that means a total, uh, let us say if it is no profit, no loss in the first year, right? 20, that must grow with 25% every year. So that is a viable investment for me. Without the return on in the investment, no investment is good for me.
Okay. So, how has AI helped you in your journey so far? Like,
AI.
because most of the person they are continuously, how should I put this? Like they are having mixed feelings regarding AI. Like
Hmm.
for some it's helping, for some it's losing their jobs. So what's your view on this? Like how it helped you in your journey? For example, like you used the example of ChatGPT. How was it beneficial for you? And some other AI tools that you find useful or not?
Just a second. Okay. So, yeah, what was the question?
So my question was like how AI has affected you because
Hmm.
people generally have mixed
Got it, got it.
feelings for AI.
Okay, so AI has given me more benefits instead of taking something away from me. Right? It has increased my efficiency if I talk about certain things I need to do, certain services I need to provide. It is a boon for the services industry. If you are looking for the writing people, right, who write and give the concision, etc., right, who make the content in English, for them also, I have found that it has provided more opportunities than losses, right? There would be certain calibration that you would need in your skills with the advent of new technologies. But yeah, mm, all things run on economics, and economics has been made for the people. So people will always be on the center of the technology rather than technology being at the center of the people.
Thanks a lot, sir, for this interview,
Hmm.
and Happy New Year.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, yeah, New Year
You're
started.
welcome, and happy new year to you too. Right, since we have recorded this, I think this could have gone to a podcast.
Yeah, it could have, but this was my first interview,
Yeah.
taking someone else's interview, and just after starting, I feel that I should have started with something like "How was your day?" and all.
Yeah,
And
no
I was
problem.
also asking questions from like starting from anywhere, whatever comes in my mind. I don't have a particular flow chart, like what should I ask first and second. So I believe it would have been more beneficial if I would have a particular structure in my mind.
The questions are really inquisitive, I would say, intelligent, I would say. They touched on the parts of business that I have been looking forward in my employees to, okay, take up. Uh, so I would say that, yeah, you are on a great path. Okay.
Thanks a lot,
If
sir.
the skill of taking interview is concerned.
Maybe in future someday.
Yeah. Okay. Nice meeting you. Happy New Year. Bye.
Yes, sir. Happy New Year. Thank you, sir. Bye.